got love for you, man. You know what I'm saying?
What are we talking about? You know, I'm not here to start any trouble.
I'm only going to say nice things about you from now on. I think you're handsome, and I think you're a wonderful host.
I'm fat and I'm overweight.
Just don't say anything silly.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
You know, I don't want y'all to take anything out of context that I'm saying.
He's very funny. He likes to joke around a lot.
As a personality and as an entertainer, yes.
This is going to be really quick. I'm not taking any questions.
Go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to talk for a little bit.
You're listening to Cabbie Presents, the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. You're back, you're here, your headphones are comfortable, your speakers are on high. My name is Cabbie Richards, and I'm happy that you subscribed and are listening right now. Okay, a couple of things before I get to our guest. Two quick stories. So I went to Montreal for the weekend, and I love that city. You know, some of the hot spots aren't so hot anymore, but then I guess you find new spots. Okay, let me start from the beginning. So I landed in Montreal on Saturday, and PK Subban leaves me a pair of tickets for the game versus Pittsburgh. But he forgot about me on the day, and by that I mean, so like he got on his bat phone, and then he set me up in a suite with his friend Joel, which is a very nice recovery. And we get there, and the suite is full. So it's like, it was a nice recovery, but then, anyway, listen, I'm not going to complain, nor did I complain, because everything was great. The food, the atmosphere was awesome. And bad goaltending always leads to exciting hockey games. It was back and forth, and that red light was glowing like it was New Year's Eve. 6-6 in regulation. And before the game, I told my girl, I was like, that three players, if they scored for her. It was Brendan Prust, Colby Armstrong, and PK Subban. Prust, check. Subban, check. Colby, he apologized to my girl after the game. Even Sidney Crosby scored. Of course Sidney Crosby scored. That guy always scores in Montreal. Brandon Sutter ended up scoring the game winner in overtime, and the Penguins left victorious. Game over. So before that, I met a dude in the suite named Denny, who was a passionate foodie. I mean, all foodies are passionate. And he gave my girl and I a few suggestions for sushi spots and seafood spots. Among them were two restaurants by Chuck Hughes. Now, I don't run in circles where I know the name of the master chef. Like, I like certain spots, but not so much that I pay close attention to the person who owns the place. Anyway, we go to a spot called Garde Manger in Old Montreal, where the locals hang out. Old Montreal is like the hot spot in that city, where Saint Laurent, like 5-6 years ago, was really hot, and that's, you know, shout out to Buona Notte, because I have some of my best partying experiences at Buona Notte, and actually the food was quite exceptional as well. So anyway, we get there at 11 p.m. and the kitchen closes at 11:30, and the manager tells us to order quickly because the kitchen closing. Since I love food, I murdered the menu. Lobster poutine immediately, and it was amazing. Food was amazing, but what made the atmosphere in this sort of like this darkened, rustic place was the music. We got in, and they were playing soul and classic rock, and like cool classic rock. And then like halfway through the meal, or like into our appetizers, it switches to 90s R&B, and that really sort of piqued my interest. Like, this is, okay, 90s R&B, that's my wheelhouse. All of a sudden, Effin' Problems by A$AP Rocky, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar comes on. Like, it goes like, for people that are familiar with the song, there's a little bit of a soft intro, and I hear that, I'm like, come on, there's no way that they're playing that here. We're in a restaurant, and this is a hard hip hop song. Like, the beat is bombastic. Like, it's a song that, like, all your windows in your car need to be down, or you need to be wearing some Beats by Dre's or something in your headphones, or it's played at a club. Anyway, so Effin' Problem plays, and I almost lose it. Like, what kind of a restaurant is playing hip-hop like this? This is amazing. And I wasn't ready for what came next. They played Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang. the Wu-Tang Clan was playing on the speakers in an upscale restaurant in Montreal. I was like, this is not happening. I bomb atomically. Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses can't define how I'd be dropping these mockeries. Triumph by the Wu-Tang Clan was on. It was incredible. Chuck Hughes, if this gets back to you, you will always get my money either there at Garde Manger or at Bremner whenever I'm in the 514. The other story comes from the NBA All-Star Weekend in Houston, which I will talk a little bit about with my guest today. So I worked with Sprite on this event for about 6 months in what they called the Sprite Uncontainable Game. There were 24 basketball players from all over the world playing in this game that featured international NBA players as coaches. Serge Ibaka from the Oklahoma City Thunder, Omri Casspi from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Andrea Bargnani from the Toronto Raptors, LeBron James of the Miami Heat, and my dude, Kobe Bryant of the Lakers. So the piece that Kobe and LeBron agreed to was about interpreting imagery, like adding context to iconic images of each other in an authentic way. So Kobe would write some words on an image of LeBron James, and LeBron James would write about Kobe Bryant. Like, this is something that people have never seen before, and they probably haven't done it before where they're writing, well, maybe in private, but never publicly. And it was a very cool experience because the guys were very playful, and they're rarely seen together, Kobe and LeBron, except for the Summer Olympics. Anyway, before the game started, and before I shot the interview with Kobe and LeBron, Kobe was late. He was like 20, 25 minutes late and kept everybody waiting and ultimately kept LeBron waiting. And I will say this, the traffic in Houston was a nightmare. It was like if you're trying to go to Best Buy or Target or Walmart on like Black Friday or like Boxing Day here in Canada, it was like that. And if those stores were the only ones in that city, it was like that times about 17. It was awful. Awful. Anyway, backstage, LeBron is waiting in this green room area. And he was early, by the way. I will give LeBron props. He was early to his commitment to Sprite. He was like 10 minutes early. So which made his wait like half an hour. So I don't blame him. And he's the best basketball player in the world, LeBron James. Like one of the greatest, one of the best athletes on planet Earth, LeBron James. It's his show as well as Kobe's show. So at one point, LeBron says, NBA, National Bean Association. That's Kobe's middle name, Bean. And he didn't want to wait for Kobe. He said, like, he wasn't super pissed, but he just wasn't pleased. It's almost like when it wasn't until Michael Jordan left the NBA where Kobe could grab a hold of the league. And I think until Kobe Bryant leaves the league, then LeBron James can really own the NBA. I mean, with that said, if LeBron wins the NBA championship this year, then maybe that throws that out of the window, but there's still a bit of Kobe's residue and his mark in the game. Either way, LeBron is the best basketball player in the world. And why was he waiting? Bean. My guest was also at the NBA All-Star Weekend in Houston, and we will get into that as well as him being one of 7 Canadians playing in the NBA right now.
If it's going to be an interview, I'm going to conduct it. So I'll answer my own questions, ask myself the questions, then give y'all the answers.
By way of Brampton, Ontario, if you grew up in that area, you may have caught a glimpse of the towering 6'9" youngster planning which sneakers he was going to buy at the Foot Locker or the Champs at the Bramalea City Center or in line at the Taco Bell in the food court. When I met him at an awards banquet in 07-ish, I awkwardly hugged him after he accepted an award for being awesome. And then he took his awesome to the University of Texas, and after one season, continued his awesome in the NBA, drafted number 4 in 2011 by the not-so-awesome Cleveland Cavaliers. But they're becoming more awesome, and I'm pleased to be joined by Tristan Thompson. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Cabbie. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. On Twitter, it's at RealTristan13, and on Instagram, it's at RealTristan13. Where are you right now in the world?
Right now I'm in Cleveland. Just finished practice.
And is the weather similar to what we have at home? Like there are blizzards and like 2-foot snowbanks.
No, not at all. It's sunny right now. I'm gonna have my windows down. It might be a little cold, but I'm gonna have my windows down and enjoying the sun today.
Oh, okay. You're soaking up that global warming, is what you're saying to me.
Yeah. Basically, Mother Nature and the sun's being nice to Cleveland, Ohio right now.
So Tristan, okay, I'm pretty sure you saw this, but like when JJ Barea, who's like 5'8" on the books, but probably in real life 5'2", if he knocked down Ray Allen the other day, and if someone 5'8" knocked you on your butt, how hard would it be for you to keep your cool?
You gotta keep it cool,
No, but how hard would it be though, Tristan? Because that's a little dude. He's basically a grown child.
Well, basically, no man under 6 foot is knocking me down. That ain't never gonna happen to me. But if it did, he's gonna wish he never ever did that.
Is it even possible to knock down Jesus Shuttlesworth? I didn't think Jesus could be touched.
And I thought he was the untouchable son, the prodigy child. So, I guess I don't know what kind of powers J.J. Barea got, but he definitely made a mistake doing that.
And Ray Allen obviously got heated. I was joking with a friend of mine this morning. We were exchanging text messages. I was like, it's got to be hard for Ray to go home and look his wife in the face, like after she after she saw those. Either she was at the game or saw the highlights. Like that's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to explain to the wife, but, my excuse would probably be like, the little unbalanced. He caught me on 1 foot, so my balance wasn't that good. If I was on 2 feet and planted, that wouldn't happen.
Right, so you just give her the little lesson in physics. You, blame the physics of the situation.
Yeah, exactly, and if she questions it, then, she ain't going to want to question it. That's not going to be a good look for her.
So when things get heated in a game, are you the guy that holds your teammates back, or do you secretly want one of your teammates to punch a dude?
No, first of all, we don't want no one, violating one of my teammates' space and making my teammates feel awkward. So we all got each other's back. But, we definitely don't want to promote violence. That's not what the game is.
No, I know that. But, are you, okay, but, there's always, there are teammates that will just, or you have friends that always, be the first one to, hold people back. And then there's just going to be, that one friend that just sort of lays in the cut just because he wants to see what happens. Which guy are you?
I want to see what happens, but if something breaks out, then I definitely got my teammates back. I'm not going to instigate nothing. I'm on the phone here with Tristan Thompson of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So last night I'm at work and I was preparing for our conversation, and a security guard and one of the maintenance guys came over to my desk, and they were arguing about Kobe versus LeBron. And they asked me, if you had to start a team with one player, who's your number one pick? And I don't know if I'm going to ask you that question, but when you're in the league, do you guys and your friends, do you have arguments like that? Whenever both players both have a good night, or when they both go at each other in a matchup, then we talk about it. But besides that, not really. More of my buddies back home, when we talk about sports during the off season, we'll definitely get into that.
So there's always those crazy, not crazy, but those conversations with the long hypotheticals, and I don't know if you have a guy like this in your circle of friends or maybe in your locker room, but who's the guy that when you're arguing, the guy that speaks the loudest thinks he wins the argument? Who's that guy?
Oh, that's my I got a buddy back home. His name is Aaron. He's definitely like that. He definitely thinks he's the loudest, and then he'll try to pull out stats that make no relevance of the argument, and it definitely does not connect anything, but he thinks that he's right, but he's always wrong.
I love those guys, and those are always the guys, Tristan, that have the made-up stats. 87% of the time, blah, 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 those kind of dudes. I have a friend like that as well who always has these made-up stats.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a guy on your team that does that too?
Make up stats? Probably C.J. Miles. He tried to pull up the stats, because he came out of high school, so he wants to prove to everyone, that he still can compete with the college students.
So when you so when you guys are either on the bus or on the plane, and like you guys have your conversations or arguments, your sports ones, like best quarterback, best soccer player in the world, who's got the better car in the parking lot. I know professional athletes are very competitive because that's just by your nature how you guys are built. Do those conversations ever get heated?
Yeah, they get heated. Yeah, definitely when it comes to clothes and fashion, guys definitely have different opinions, so we definitely get after it with each other, especially me and Omri Cabbie.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Yeah.
Wait, do you guys have fashion arguments?
Fashion arguments for what looks good, what doesn't look good, so we go back and forth.
Tristan, can you tell me what's up with the hipster movement in the NBA? I know your friends at home ask you about it. What's up with all these hipsters?
I don't know, man. Times are changing and guys are trying to start new things. I got my own way of how I dress and how I do things. I'm not going to say my way is the best way, but my way, it works out pretty well, as you could tell by if you look at my Instagram, Real Tristan 13, check me out.
Yeah, no, your style is you almost have like a classic, almost like a urban Ralph Lauren. I saw your picture with you and the picture with you and Pitbull on a boat. What were you doing with Pitbull on a boat, dude?
Oh man, me and Pip, we were doing some. I'm doing some off the court things with him, so I can't give out too much. But
Tristan, come on,
check me on the summertime. Check me on the summertime on your TV screen.
Tristan, this is a conversation between friends. Friends are allowed to exchange information and tell each other about what they have planned for the summer.
It's gonna be a good summer. Let's just say that. Anytime you with Pitbull, come on now. They call him Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And on boat, come on now.
Mr. 305. Like, were you guys in Miami when you shot that or took those photos?
Yeah, we were in Miami shooting a commercial.
So what is it like? What is it like to roll with Pitbull for a day or a night or a couple of days, like after work?
Oh well. I didn't get to chop it up with him after because I had to fly to Chicago. We had a game the next day. But there's a time I spent with him. He's a cool guy. He knows a lot about basketball, especially down, University of Miami. He had a lot of friends that went there. So we were talking about basketball, and he knows his stuff.
That's cool. So, okay, let me get back to your friends real quick. When you're from Brampton, and I'm sure you have a close circle of your closest dudes, and everybody in the community is like, they root for you. I remember on draft night when you got drafted, I was so proud. Like, you went number 4. And in my lifetime, a Canadian has never been drafted. I think there was a Canadian back in like the 50s, so before the modern era, I think it was drafted like 2 or 3. I'm not certain, but at that night when David Stern announced your name, firing that on Twitter and high-fiving people, like it was awesome. Okay, so now that you've made it in the NBA and your bank account is a little bit different, who's the hardest person for you to say no to?
Hardest person to say no to? Well, probably myself.
Oh, yeah? That's a great answer.
Myself, because everyone in my circle understands, what I've done to get here and respects what I want to do with my bank account. So I guess the hardest person to say no to is myself. When I see something nice, I usually, get it, but sometimes you got to control, might not have to get it now, might have to get it later. Right,
very nice. Okay, well, we'll keep thinking that way. It's good to have restraint sometimes because as you probably saw that ESPN documentary broke, which I'm sure everybody was talking about, that was revealing, man. It was, and then like Terrell Owens recently is like, that dude is just in a tight situation right now. So we don't want that for you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want that for myself because especially being Canadian, I don't want to be the first ever highest drafted and then the first ever athlete that's claiming to be bankrupt. That's not a good feeling.
No,
going back home.
Yeah, no, that's not a good look because then you'll have to be walking the hallways of the Bramalea City Center waiting for that sale. Remember at Champs when they had those buy one, get the other one for half price?
Half price, yep.
It was Champs and Foot Locker. Dude, I was just in Montreal. I bought 2 pairs of shoes only because one was half price. Then nothing changes. Nothing changes except the address.
You still the same.
Yeah. So, okay. So from the moment you got drafted on that night in June, So how long did it take before you actually got your first NBA check? I don't know. I don't want to know the amount. I just want to know like how long until you got that first, that blue piece of paper in that envelope, and you're looking at your thing. You're like, whoa.
Well, checks don't start coming in until February 15th, so you got to wait a little bit for you to get your first NBA check.
Wait a second. Say what? So when you got drafted in
No, not February. No, not February. I mean November 15th.
Oh, wow. So that was like the whole summer you were like, yeah, it's coming, but like you had to wait.
Yeah, you got to wait. You got to be patient.
And on that draft day, you wore a pretty nice suit. It was a classic. I think it was it black with a black tie, or was it navy blue?
It was navy with light brown shoes, like a light purple undershirt. I was best dressed, by the way. New York Times put me best dressed, by the way.
So Tristan, what's happened to that suit? Have you worn it since?
No, it's a draft day suit. So you only wear it for the draft one time.
You just wore that one time, so you spent whatever you spent. How much did you spend on that suit, that outfit?
I don't remember. I just bought it.
You did. So wait, it's just sitting in your? Is it in your parents' house in back here in Brampton, or is it with you in Cleveland?
No, it's with me, but I got a little bigger, so I can't wear that suit no more. I was 225 when I got fitted for that suit. Now I'm 235, so 10 pounds is a whole lot.
Come on, 10 pounds isn't that much. Like you're not bursting out of the seams. I mean, I know you're a little more diesel now. You've grown into your body, but it's not that bad, is it?
I just want to make sure if I'm going to do something, I got to do it right. I don't want no hiccups and not looking awkward. I want to make sure if I'm wearing it got to fit me right.
Now, okay, so you went to the University of Texas. Going to quickly shout out Mike Kabongo. I know you have a close relationship with the dude. I have a relationship with him. I love the kid. He's got a great personality. Now, if Kevin Durant, okay, who was a Texas alum, who I think has his number retired in your guys' gym, or Johnny Manziel, the Heisman-winning quarterback from Texas A&M, if they walked into a crowded restaurant and say, I'm going to pick like Odessa, Texas, and there's only one booth in the restaurant, who gets the booth?
Kevin Durant better get the booth. He better get the booth. Just because you won a Heisman doesn't mean you NBA finalist. That's a whole different ballgame right there. And
well, Kevin Durant has that long money. I mean, Johnny Manziel will get it, but he's got. But listen, have you seen? Okay, you don't take like I looked on your Instagram account yesterday, and for the people listening, it's real Tristan 13. You don't have extravagant, like, look at me type of pictures. Your pictures are like, hey, I got this outfit on. Boom, I'm going to the game. This is me with Pitbull. And behind us, there are 30,000 of the hottest Miami women on 17 yachts around us. But you can't see that. You can only see me and Pitbull smiling. But
exactly.
I don't know if you've seen Johnny Manziel's life. Johnny Manziel, excuse me.
His lifestyle. He wants everyone to know he be going to live and All-Star Weekend. He's been living it up.
Dude.
OPOXO, he's big. He wants everyone to know what's going on with him.
So that's what I mean. So like, he apparently he is no longer taking classes in class at Texas A&M. All his classes will be online. So you're just going to go to practice, play games, and pretend to go to class. So what I'm saying is, his lifestyle in a digital way is huge. So I just think maybe he does get that booth in Odessa, Texas over Kevin Durant. I'm not sure.
Well, the owner of Odessa, if they get Johnny Manziel the seed before Kevin Durant, they need I will not be eating there.
Okay, so speaking of a crazy lifestyle, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Drake from Toronto made it rain at a night spot in Charlotte. My dude, he came in with a cardboard box with 50 G's. And he was literally making it rain so much so that the entire floor was covered in bills. What's the closest you've seen to dumb money spent in your short time in the NBA or in those circles?
Dumb money spent. Whenever when you go out and have a good time, or whenever you go to like big cities like Miami or LA or New York, you always got those one guys that are spending a lot of cash on bottles and having a good time. So. The guys want to spend their money how they want to. It's not my money they're spending, so they do it however they please, and if they got it, I guess why not? Enjoy yourself.
But so what's the so you're talking about so you mentioned Live in Miami, which is a huge club and it's super popular and super expensive, or clubs in LA or whatever. So what's like the most extravagant you've seen a night?
Most extravagant I've seen someone purchase about 60 bottles.
What? How did you say 60 bottles?
Yeah, 60 bottles.
60. And where was that, in Vegas or was that in LA?
That was actually in Miami.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. So with 60 bottles, how many young ladies were in that dude's vicinity? Like 200?
Actually, he had a lot of his dudes there, so I guess it was for his homeboys. I guess his dad who does the exporting for some Hispanic company. I don't know what the guy does, but that's what they were saying on the microphone.
Oh, it's just like, hey, this dude's in exports. Ladies and gentlemen,
they gave his whole bio.
They read his Wikipedia page, and then every girl just scurried over to his area to meet an army of dudes who wouldn't let them in unless they were handpicked by that dude.
Yeah, probably. That's how it goes.
So I'll get you out of here on this. So when I did see you was at the All-Star game, and you're in Houston, and experiencing it as a sophomore. Who was the guy that you bonded with on that trip that you hadn't really hung out with before?
Haven't really hung out with. Well, everyone that I hung out with all during All-Star weekend is just people in my close circle. So I was around just my family members. So I didn't really. Me and Kenneth Fareed chopped it up a little bit because we were on the same team for the rookie and sophomore game. So me and him, got a close bond during the time we spent with each other.
That's cool. Hey, he's a great talent. I mean, that guy's like super exciting. Is there any? Who's the funniest person that you've been around?
Funniest person I've been around? My teammate Kyrie.
Kyrie's the funniest?
Yeah.
I mean,
not me, that's him.
I love his. Are you going to make an appearance in one of his Pepsi commercials?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm going to put my bid in. I'm going to do a monologue and see if I'm good enough.
You're going to give him a sales pitch?
Yeah, exactly. I need some love.
Make sure you have a Jerry Maguire in there as well who can help you with that pitch. It would be great to see you in one of those ads because I think those are great. Ladies and gentlemen, his awesome right now is being employed by the Cleveland Cavaliers at Real Tristan 13 on Instagram, Real Tristan 13. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you, man, and I can't wait. I'll look forward to seeing you in the summertime.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you having me on the show, Cabbie.
My pleasure, brother.
Thank you for listening to Cabbie Presents, the podcast.